Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to talk about what you should be expecting after finishing your NCLEX and passing as an international nurse. Let's get right into it. So guys, first things first, congratulations, you've made it. You've passed a very big milestone in this journey by passing your NCLEX exam. So congratulations. Now we'll start immediately on everything you should know that you are supposed to go through before you get your exit date to now leave your country and go work in the US as a nurse. So the first thing that you should do is update your CGFNS profile. I've written things here so that I go through all of them and I also don't skip something. So the first thing is to update your CGFNS profile. I've done a lot of videos on CGFNS on this channel, several, and I'll be linking them in the description box. You can click on them and go watch them. So you have to make sure that your CGFNS profile is up to date. Make sure that your information there is accurate and up to date. That even includes your licenses. The license that you are currently holding in your country should be accurate and up to date, and it should have not expired. And also the license that you've just acquired by passing your NCLEX, you should also include it in the CGFNS profile so that you are getting ready for your visa screening process. That is the first thing you must know that you will do after you've passed your NCLEX. Now, the second thing that will happen is now your agency will send you an I-140 form to fill. So an I-140 is basically an immigrant petition for a worker that will allow the worker to work in the US, right? So it is basically an immigrant application. That's a petition that is filed by your prospective employer. That will be your agency. They'll file for you and petition for you so that you can get work in the US on a permanent basis. That is what an I-140 is. So most of the agencies usually send this form pre-filled, and you have to go through it and preview it. It's about 6 pages. You'll go through it and preview it and sign and return to them. Most of the time it is signed electronically. I signed mine electronically. So you'll go through it, make sure the information is accurate, and you resend back to them, and then they'll submit your I-140 and petition for you through the agency's lawyer. This petition may take up to 6 weeks for you to get feedback if it's approved or not, or it may even take longer than that. Mine took less than 6 weeks, but I know of people who really waited for their I-140 to be approved. So you just pray for it when they've submitted it. But it should take at least 6 weeks. It may even take longer. And also with the COVID times, things are a bit slow. So you just have to be patient. So the next thing that you have to realize that you will need to do is sit for your IELTS exam. Some people sit for the IELTS exam before they sit for the NCLEX, and some agencies require someone to have an IELTS certificate before they even consider you to be part of their team or for the NCLEX. So if you haven't sat for the IELTS, like for my case, I sat for the NCLEX before I did my IELTS. You have now to start reading about the IELTS. IELTS is an English examination that you have to sit for and get the required bands so that the CGFNS can give you a visa screening certificate, which is one of the requirements when you are now applying for your visa. And for this exam, for the US candidates, you have to get a general band of 6.5 or more and a speaking band of 7 and more for you to qualify for a visa screening certificate. So remember that after you've done your NCLEX, your I-140 can be filed concurrently as you study for the IELTS if you haven't taken the IELTS exam. So that is the third thing that I think the second thing that you should know that you are required of after you've done your NCLEX. Then the third thing, after the I-140 has been approved, you will be required to send your civil documents from your country to your agency. Now, I'm going to do another video on all the civil documents that are required for them to apply for your visa. These civil documents include civil documents for you and your family. Most of the time, they are the birth certificate, the passports. There are several. I'll do a detailed video on them. Even the police clearance certificate, you have to submit it to your agency. That is after your I-140 has been approved. And some agency even start telling you to send those requirements earlier. Yeah, so that they can start compiling your file when that time comes. So put in mind that you'll have to have all your civil documents ready for your process to go fast. And sometimes it takes a bit long. Like in my country, some government services are a bit slow. So if you are clever enough, start doing these things early. Look for your birth certificates, make sure you have them. Make sure you have your police clearance certificates. Make sure you have a passport. Of course, you'll have a passport. And make sure your spouse, your children that are legally yours, either adopted or biological, they have their passports ready. Yeah, those documents will be required after your I-140 has been filed. Then, so your I-140 has been approved. The next thing that the next form that you'll be required to fill is called a DS-260 form. It is basically an immigrant visa application form. It is filled to seek a permanent residence in the US, not a temporal residence. So this DS-260 form is sent to you by your agency. Most of the agencies pay for all these processes for you, but you'll be paying for your spouse and your children. So once they pay for you, it is usually done by the Nation Visa Center in the US, and is also handled by the local US embassy in your country. So there's a fee that your agency will pay the Nation Visa Center, and they'll give you a number for your DS-260 and an access code that you will be able to access that form once it's ready, and you have to fill that form. If I can get the a picture of those forms. I can attach it to the video, but I'm not sure because most of these forms have several pages. But you will see after you reach these stages, the forms are not so hard to fill. It is just the legal questions that you are supposed to fill honestly. So the DS260 form will be sent to you as a link. You'll access that link via with your access code and your number that you are given from the Nation Visa Center. You will fill this form for you and your families. Okay, so they'll have the forms for you and your family, and you'll remember you'll pay for your family's form. So you'll fill the DS260 form and now wait for the DS260 to be approved. Yeah, that will also take a minimum of 6 weeks. I haven't heard of anyone who has taken more than that, but if there is a problem with your document, if there is any issues that arise regarding your documents that you've provided, the Nation Visa Center will contact you, and they will also they'll CC your agency because they are the ones who pay for you, and you'll have to correct it or maybe submit something like an affidavit if something is not clear with your documents. That is what delays the DS260 form. Mine took at least 2 weeks, so it should take at least up to 6 weeks if everything goes well. So after your DS260 has been approved, guess what? You have a case complete. Now you'll be waiting for your exit interview. And this requires patience, especially during these times of COVID. There's a lot of backlog at the embassies. So the things have been going so slow, especially for nurses. At some point, the nurse visas were not given priority this year. I think they were giving priority to family visas and these other ones, but the nurses were not a priority. But from the recent bulletin in September, they have given healthcare providers, with especially those working with the COVID cases because of the Delta variant, they've given them priority. So we expect to see things start moving because any healthcare provider is going to work with COVID cases. Yeah. So that has given us a glimmer of hope, but I've seen people who passed their NCLEX in 2019 and who even got their case complete in 2019 and they are still in this country. So things are moving so slow, and this journey needs patience. You will have to require a lot of patience and just keep your hopes high. Some people, things move so fast, and some they drag. So it depends with you. This journey is individualized. Don't give up. After you've done the NCLEX, things won't be so easy because you have to run around, look for these documents and everything, and you'll also require money on your sides, money for vaccines, money for titers. I'll also do videos on this, and it won't be so easy, but it will be worth it in the end. Yeah, I've given you basically what to expect after the NCLEX, But in between, there are so many things that come into play, and it is just up to you how financially stable you are, how fast you move. There are things that you have to do before all these things, all these steps that I've just given you fall into place. Yeah, you have to look for the documents. If you haven't gone to driving school, you have to have your driving skills. So there are so many things that come into play. I'll be doing a video about civil documents that you need. I'll be doing a video about the vaccines that you may require to get, and the titers that you may require to do for your medicals. I'll be doing a video on all those, but these basically are the basic steps that you know you'll go through after you passed your NCLEX. And guys, that's basically it. We've come to the end of the video. Please consider subscribing if you find this information useful, and if you are on this journey, please comment down in the description box whatever challenges you're going through, any questions you have, and any additional information that you want to add. Please write it in the comment section. I'll be very happy to interact with you, and I'll see you in the next video. So consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye for now.